Hi everyone, this is Sanjana from MockCat. Now in yesterday's video, I was speaking about how you can crack CAT 2025 with 6 months to go, even if you are starting now. And over the next few days in each video, I'm going to help you with that. So today we are going to understand more about the CAT exam. Now why is that? Now other than CAT, there are multiple other national level exams. You would also probably have an MBA entrance test in your state. But if you look at the top 10 or the top 20 or even the top 50 B schools, a disproportionately high set of these schools are going to accept only the CAT score, making this exam very important. Then on top of it, this is not an exam that you can give 2 or 3 times. It's not like SNAP or like GMAT. This is an exam which happens once a year. So again, the stakes become higher. And these are things which naturally bring in a little bit more of anxiety. Now you can smash away this anxiety with two things. One, understanding the exam very well. And second is preparing. So today I'm going to help you with the understanding aspect. When it comes to the CAT exam, there are 3 things which you need to know. And the first, of course, is all of the details of the exam. So let's start with that. Now, what I'm telling you is primarily based on CAT 2024, but I've also integrated a few things from the previous years. And this is typically what you can expect this year's exam to also be like. So to start off, this is an online exam. It's expected to be 2 hours and held on the last Sunday of November, in this case on 30th of November. Now these 2 hours are split into 3 sections of 40 minutes each. The first being for verbal ability and reading comprehension, the second one for DILR, that's data interpretation and logical reasoning, and the third one for quant or quantitative ability. Now remember that you cannot change this order and you cannot change the timing. So the first 40 minutes is dedicated to verbal, the next 40 to DILR, and the last 40 to quant, in that order. And the moment the 40 minutes are done, the system is going to switch to the next section. Now, before we get into these 3 sections and what type of questions are there, let's understand the questions themselves. Now, when it comes to CAT, we had 66 questions for the last few years, but last year they increased it to 68 questions. These 68 questions are split as 24 questions in verbal ability and 22 each in quant and DILR. The majority of these questions are going to be multiple choice questions. On the verbal front, they could look like this, and in the other 2 sections, this is what they will look like. Now the marking scheme for this is, if you're getting the question right, which means that you're selecting the right option, you are getting +3. If you're getting the question wrong, which means let's say the right answer is option B and you're selecting A, C or D, then you're going to be getting a -1. So there is negative marking. You also have a certain number of questions which are called short answer or type in the answer, TITA questions. You don't have to type in words or long sentences or anything. You're going to have to type in numbers, including in verbal. So this is what a short answer question looks like on the verbal front. And this is what it will look like in either of the other 2 sections. Here, for every correct answer, you are still getting a +3. But if your answer is wrong, you won't get a -1, you'll get a 0. So your marking scheme is +3 and -1 or 0 if you get it wrong, depending on the question type. Now, a key thing to see here is every question is for 3 marks, unlike our school exams. So 68 questions, 68 into 3, 204 marks is what the exam was last year, and it's expected to be somewhere around that. Now, before we get into what is the mark that you need out of 204, let's first understand the syllabus itself. Now, when it comes to verbal, that's the simplest. You have your reading comprehension. Typically 4 RCs with 4 questions is what is expected. And this is a big chunk, right? 16 out of the 24 questions. The remaining are going to be verbal ability questions. This is the syllabus, 2 to 3 each. This pattern varies a little bit every year. When it comes to DILR, you will have cases, 4 or 5 question cases where the case will look something like this, and you got to solve it, and then probably you're going to be able to punch in answers for the entire 4 or 5 questions. Now, the difficulty level of CAT DILR is higher than, maybe placement aptitude or other exams where you have LR. But what also complicates this further is that these are not singlet questions. This is a case. Unlike a singlet question where you can give it a shot, try it out for 2, 3 or even 5 minutes and, then leave it or get the answer. Here, you've got to stick with the case for longer, anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes. And even if you're getting it right, you might still have a doubt saying, what if I'm going slowly? Are there 2 other cases that I could have done in the same time? Am I going to be able to solve it? So all of these things make the DILR section a little tougher, over and above, of course, the obvious fact that we've typically never studied this. Now coming to quant. When it comes to quant, the good news for you, especially if this is not your strong suit or it's been a long time since you've done maths, is that there is nothing complicated. It's all high school maths, arithmetic, algebra, geometry, modern maths, and numbers. No complicated things like calculus, vector algebra, stuff like that. The bad news is the syllabus is pretty big, which means that quant is the section where you'll be spending a lot of time to understand the concepts, remember the formulae, of course, practice a lot, and then work on the test taking strategy aspect. So now that we've understood what is it that's there in each section, let's understand what are the marks that you need. Now, when it comes to marks, the marks are of two types. You need to get a certain percentile to get a call from your target B schools, but you also need to get minimums in many B schools to be considered. So if we look at the IIMs, 20 out of 21 IIMs say there is a certain minimum that you need to get in each section and then overall for me to even consider you. And that is what we call the sectional cutoff. Now, the sectional cutoff is not something that is super high. It is typically between 70 to 85 percentile. It can be lower if you come under a reserve category. But if you see even 80 to 85 percentile, which I've put here on the screen in front of you, is not something which is super tough. If we look at CAT 2024, 85th percentile was just a little less than 7 questions, right? 7 into 321 in verbal and even lower in DILR and quant. In CAT 2023, where the paper was a little tougher, if you take a look at it, little less than 5 questions gets you the 85th percentile in DILR, which means that if you're solving one case, you've cleared all the sectional cutoffs. And 4 questions was enough in quant. Now, this is something which feels good, but at the same time is also a little worry that why is it when especially quant and verbal, these are things which we've studied our entire life, why is it that 80-85% people are not able to get 3 to 4 questions right out of 22 questions? Or why is it that people are not able to get one case right out of 4 or 5 cases in DILR? Now, the reason for that is not that it's super complicated. It is typically that most people do not prepare the right way or end up making mistakes in test taking strategy. And that is what we are going to correct to ensure that you get those minimums and you also get the high percentiles which are required. Now, speaking of percentiles, as I said yesterday, I would definitely recommend that you have a high target, something like a top 3, top 5, top 10, or at most a top 20. Right? All of these B schools are really good. Now, if I'm considering the top 20, then depending on your profile, you'll need anywhere from 95 all the way to perhaps a 99.8, 99.9 to get those calls. Different B schools, of course, will have a different percentile. The ones on top ABC will usually be will be requiring the highest percentile. So here on the screen in front of you, you have all of the percentiles for last year. If you want to know for the previous years, I'll link a more detailed video where I have all of this. But just look at this. This is the approximate marks that you might need this year as well. A little bit more or a little bit less depending on whether the paper is easier or tougher and whether the number of test takers are around the same 2.9 to 3 lakh people or a little more or a little less. So the good news again is you need to get less than 50% marks to get that 99, which typically for a majority of people gets us a lot of calls. Even a 99.9 is still hovering somewhere around the 60-65%, right? Again, the worrying thing, of course, becomes why is it that people who've got very good marks in school and 2/3 of the syllabus seems to be our school syllabus, why are people not even getting 50%? So that's something which I will be covering in tomorrow's video. So make sure that you subscribe and watch out for that. But now coming to this, now 2 things we've understood: the details of this exam and what are the marks that you require. The third thing is going to be getting an experience or as close to it. Now, nothing is going to substitute perfectly for the D-Day, of course, because you will have nerves, the way it is, there'll be a crowd, there'll be other people, there'll be a little bit of disturbance, some announcements, you'll be going in, you'll be sitting for half an hour to 45 minutes before. It's not your own room, your own equipment, all of this is there. But taking mocks and taking mocks early on is the closest thing that you can get to this experience. That is something which I would recommend you start right now. Even if you haven't prepared anything, Understand that this exam is different, not just because you're not targeting a super high score, because there are a lot of other things, right? There are time limits, there's negative marking, the structure is different. You'll have certain features like a calculator, the question paper view, the question palette. You can do things like mark for review. There's a lot which is there. So what I would recommend is jump onto mockcat.com. There's a free mock for you, take it up. There's also a lot of mock packs in case if you're looking for it, but definitely look to take one mock right away. Don't have a high target. In fact, don't have any target, especially if you haven't taken CAT. Please take this mock. This will help you understand what this exam is like, understand the features, and it will also probably help you to understand what is your plan, what is the score that you're at, and how do you bridge the gap from there to 96 or 100 or 75 or whatever it is that you. So jump onto mockcat.com and try out the mock after this video. And if you want to go the whole way, you want to crack CAT 2025, get a high score, get into top B schools, and be guided, mentored, coached by 99.9 plus percentilers, then sign up for one of the packs or call the number that's flashing in the screen right now. All the best.